Most people, when they first see Bob, think that Bob can't do anything. Bob has a very severe case of cerebral palsy. It's a neurological disorder which affects the muscles of the body. So he can control a digit movement and his head, and that's essentially it. Bob was placed in an institution at 5 years of age when his mother decided they could no longer care for him and has had no contact with his family since then. When you see the conditions that these folks were living in and how they were treated, the effect on you as a person is really profound. This was a terrible situation for any human being, and especially for somebody who has no control over their body. He's spoken about being beaten, being drugged, and having lack of food. He was not a person. He was just a thing. When he came to Arc, 22 years of age, I don't think that we really understood fully what Bob was capable of doing. A speech therapist working with Bob started realizing that he had written poetry and memorized it. That's what started the process of writing the poetry book and some of his reflections on what his experiences were in the institutional placement.
What is strength? Am I strong if I can lift a car with one hand, but cannot wipe a tear from a friend's eye? Does my strength begin with muscle, or does it begin with my soul? My name is Robert Lee Smith, but my friends call me Bob. I was so happy when I moved out of the institution. The institution was a depressing place. There were so many people there and not enough staff to take care of us. If Arc didn't help me, I don't think I would be here today.
Bob is a communicator. While we talk about Bob's cerebral palsy or CP, that doesn't define Bob. What defines Bob is his writings, his thoughts, his poetry.
I have so many things to say, but I need help to express my opinions.
The principle behind the Arc and our mission is to find where and how each individual has a need for support and to provide it, which is why we look at one individual at a time and we refer to it as person-centered planning. We don't start with the diagnosis because that doesn't help us understand the person. Since Bob has no family, we are his family. Part of being a family member is having guardianship over that person's life to help support them in their decision-making. Just doing the physical act of the care is not enough. Government financing only provides for the basics in a person's life. The Arc is proud of the fact that we go well beyond, so that's where we depend on private dollars. Bob is one of the recipients of the value of these donor dollars, and part of it would be the technology. Bob's use of technology has been transformational because he can initiate the conversation. It doesn't start with us asking a question, which is really important to have that two-way kind of relationship. Our preschool is a great example of what the future looks like for us. Many of our children are using iPads, are using smart boards, and it's opened up a whole new world in terms of communicating and learning. We have learned to go to the typical things that we use every day that are in our pockets to help find ways of allowing our folks to conduct their lives using them as supports.
When I see a child or children with a communication device like mine, I think, good for them. They have a voice to speak to the world.
I can only imagine what Bob would look like today in terms of his talents and knowledge if he had all this technology available to him when he was 5 years of age. He probably would have completed a full education, and he may have been a college graduate. What the donor dollars have allowed the Arc of Westchester to do is to stay ahead, to be always innovative, always part of the future and not part of the past.
There are many people at the Arc that I have become friends with. A friend is someone that loves you for who you are. They don't see the disability. A person who will be with you in your darkest hour. If my mother was alive, I would say, look at all the great things I have done. I'm okay. Don't worry about me.